On the fourth day of pod, Miss My Insequeer gave to me 400 pounds. 400 pounds, damn! 400 pounds, 400 pounds. Hey, welcome to Insequeer, the podcast presents the 12 Days of Podmas, and I'm your Insequeer as fuck ass host, Chloe Beck. And if you're tuning in, you're right where you're supposed to be because this is about you, me, and the 400 pounds they used to be. Well, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, the more the numbers decrease, the more my anxiety increases, and the more the topics become a little bit more pointed and or unfortunately comical because I laugh through my pain. So this is a topic and a episode that has been in queue since the beginning. I mean, I referenced it 75 million times, but what better way than to gift you with my biggest trauma, and that was my big body. So, fun fact, in relation to the holiday seasons, I think we all kind of fall victim to food and, I'm a pro at the gym all the time, but let Thanksgiving hit, and from Thanksgiving to a few weeks after New Year's when we all lied to ourselves in this new boo year that we talked about getting back on the health and wellness trek. But holidays are where I, Chloe Beck, make my most unhealthiest, trauma informed or emotional mistakes, and in true fashion, it got me to the scale. And I mean, while I'm not so hyperbolic with 400 pounds, before I got weight loss surgery, I tipped the scale at 397.6 pounds. So I'm an academic, so I'm just going to head and round that up to 400 pounds, and we're going to talk about what that means for me in relation to the holiday season. Something that I do want to stress is that this is a topic that I don't think will be a one-timer, and I think there's so many different facets about 400 pounds of me and what it feels like to be in this body and feel like how I'm doing with weight loss surgery, or regrets and or loopholes and or small prints and fine prints that they don't necessarily talk to you about when you embark on something like weight loss surgery slash. I just want to talk about my insecurity around weight and how it really manifests or played its part in my holiday season. So let's get into it, shall we? So I will go on record and say I don't know how, but I know exactly how I got to 400 pounds. When I think about, and I've chronicled it a little bit on some episodes. I've always sprinkled some teasers in when I think about my family and when I think about me and love languages in relation to family. And honestly, the love language was food. The most important people of my life never said, Chloe, I love you, but they did make me 4 cheese macaroni and cheese or German chocolate cakes, or let me get whatever I wanted on the menu, or always would give me that coveted $5 to $10 for me to go to the corner store and buy flaming hot soda, sunflower seeds, that strawberry Swiss cake, strawberry roll that used to come 2 in a pack. Now that bitch only comes in 1. And while that's great for portion control, fuck the original Swiss roll, because that strawberry shortcake John is exquisite. Although they've changed the feeling. I have feelings about the feeling that they've changed. It's not as great anymore. It's way more artificial. Bitch, it's all processed and artificial and probably will cause uterine cancer, but neither here nor there. So my relationship with food has always been, I'm going to eat this because this person is giving it to me, or this person is making sure that I can have access to it. This must be how they love me. Not knowing that it is a very slippery slope in most communities, especially communities of color, where food, and they'll do this thing where they'll like finish everything on your plate, and then they'll be like, you ate all of that? Like, yeah, bitch, you gave me all of that. And like, what was the other option there? And then also stop being so fucking phenomenal at the cooking, and then I wouldn't want to eat all that. Like, it's a slippery slope, especially in the Black community, especially in my Black community, in terms of food and relationship and things like that. The only times that my family really got together, being fully honest, was around food and funerals, and coincidentally, those are usually together anyway. So now when I talk about Chloe, who has just a wound or a place that is just so hard to fill in terms of family and structure, and having that for a long time, when people who were key players who left my life physically, the ways in which I connected with them was through food, because while I cannot ever sit on my grandmother's lap because I couldn't ever, because I've always been a big bitch, but I digress. While I can't engage with her in real time, I can't engage with the foods that remind me of those times where I did have her. Um, so I chronicled this on a slight project that I did with WJMS Radio, Radio Reimagined. Shout out to Jamie. It was called Worth the Wait, WEIGHT, like, and it was me chronicling up my time up until I got weight loss surgery. And I anticipated and I planned to continue that project after, but after weight loss surgery, something happened and I really was no longer, I became very insular and didn't really want to talk about it post weight loss surgery. I was just living it and I dropped that project. But something that I said in that project was, me getting this weight loss surgery literally feels like I'm severing the ties between my connection to my grandmother, my connection to my family, my connection to the best times in my life, because on the days where I miss her, specifically, it's always my grandmother, grandma's hands. Grandma was Big Mama's house. I've said it numerous times. I'm a mod, but fat and a woman and gay and broke and not interested in keeping the family together. But in those times post her death, when I really, 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 really was in need of my grandmother, like I either cooked the things she taught me or I sought out the closest iteration that would just bring her back to me. So I talked about how I was so insecure about this weight loss surgery, because the truth is, like, when you're in that conversation about having a surgery, you think about all the things you can't. I can't do this anymore. I can't do that anymore. I can't do that. I can't. And for me, I got gastric sleeve, which everybody's different, and I wanna put a disclaimer. This is Chloe Beck's narrative, Chloe Beck's story, Chloe Beck's experience with the surgery and all that stuff, because I don't know what's gonna come out, but I want to make it clear that I can't speak for everybody, and everybody goes through a different. For example, there are some people who started about the same size as me, got the surgery, and stuck true to those can'ts. But Chloe Beck is a tester and a taster and realized that after a while, you could pretty much put anything back in your body if you're prepared for the heartburn or the gas or the sharding, if you will. I've never sharded, it just felt funny. And if I did, I would tell you, I don't give a shit. Shard on, my players, am I right? Shard happens. So I was very nervous and angsty and scared that I was really going to have to bury my grandmother again, because I thought I wouldn't be able to eat the things that brought her back to life for me. And while that's not true, I can in fact eat those things and do those things, but now I have this thing called awareness, and it has really shaped how I maneuver food. Not saying that I don't eat incorrectly, because what I was going to say is there's people who had the surgery when we were about the same weight, but they have stuck rigidly to the new life you're supposed to live post weight loss surgery, and have lost way more. Like, so I started this process at 397.6. I am now at 260. And while I think that is a massive amount of weight loss, the fact that I am not disciplined, the fact that I still have this emotional connection to food and feelings and things like that, coupled with some injuries that I that were small that I allowed to get big so I could have an excuse not to be disciplined in my weight loss journey. I'm not even eligible enough yet to lose or to get skin removal surgery, which is like a huge part of the weight loss surgery, which they don't really talk to you about, which causes me a lot of anxiety, depression, and self-deprecating honesty hours with myself, because here I am thinking, you damn near lost half yourself. Like, I don't do math. I don't fucking know. It feels about right. But you've lost a significant amount of weight, and then when you go to the surgeon and he's like, your BMI is still 30, you still need to lose 30 to 40 to 50 more pounds before your skin removal will even make sense. It brings me to why this is showing up here. I gave you guys a real mumbo jumbo, but like, I'm pretty sure you can follow where I'm going. So let's start from the beginning all over again. Young Chloe, who was the youngest of 3 children, with about 15 and 13 year age gap between the 2 oldest and me, and a mom who had me when she was 38, who, you know, left a lot and left me with a little bit of change, like, hey, go treat yourself. And like, when I didn't have friends or food or family or understanding of self, I did in fact have a really cool gas station that sold Chester fried chicken and potato wedges, and I used to eat that shit. I really do. When I tell you, I stand, and I still stand for sunflower seeds, the green pack specifically, the Frito-Lay version. If y'all got some of those, please send them my way, because the only hookup I had in New York got fired from CVS, and then he's not stocking my shit no more. But those things really did become a huge part of my narrative in my life. And when I tell you I did not have a clue about serving sizes or reading the nutrition labels or any of the things that I've just learned in my 30s, that I am just flabbergasted by, about the things in which I'm allowed to, or I was allowed to eat or drink or do, and like not really realizing that in any given day I could have 2 to 3 cans of soda, because my grandmother used to buy the 24 cases of Pepsi and ginger ale and things like that. Not realizing, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is liquid. It comes in, it goes out. Having no context around carbs and calories and things like that. But now that I do have that, I also still have the hurt of wanting to feel the love that I remember having to accept as a kid, because I can't say that that was love, because if my family was more engaged and invested and capable of helping me, I wouldn't be the person here who, while I've lost so much weight, I'm still too fat to just go shop in the store, or I'm still too curvy to wear the suspenders and Dapper Dyke shit that I want to wear, or still too fat to just feel free or proud of the choices I made, because I'm just so stagnant in my current journey, because I didn't do one thing that I think the weight loss industry continues to neglect, which I think everyone continues to neglect, which I kind of chronicled on episode 6, and that is no one talks. You know, it was my experience that I only had one meeting with a therapist about if I was prepared for this surgery, and it is a red tape meeting. You just kind of talk to your therapist. They make sure that you're gonna do your best, and the truth is, when I talked to that man, I was ready. I had it was so huge to me, because I had stopped drinking 2 months before I even joined in this process to having the surgery. So I was already making the right choices and doing the thing, and I was on paper ready, prepared, and motivated. But post-surgery, and that first big trauma, or that first big realization that your life is different, you haven't done any of the work to discuss what food means to you, or drinking means to you, or how food is literally a band-aid to a much bigger symptom. So now you're like, you have this whole new life, this whole new body. It's like you're learning how to ride a bike with no training wheels after you've had Uber training wheels your whole life. Like no, I didn't gain 400 pounds by myself, but to then go through this weight loss process by yourself, it feels like the rug was pulled, or the snacks were pulled. And so I say all that to say, the holidays specifically is where all of, like, this is shit I deal with 365. These are the conversations, the loopholes, the feelings that I have all the time. But the holiday season specifically is when you really think about how much family you don't have, or the family you used to have, or what each day used to bring in terms of honey baked hams and potato salads and mac and cheese and cookies and pies and all the things. And like, me and my partner, we just bought those 2 tins of those Danish cookies, because it's Christmas time, you gotta have those. And when I say I pretty much finished one by myself, guilty as fuck. Locked up, they won't let me out of my waistline. And I struggle with that, because it really does. Like, when I tell you, like, when I walk through these stores and I see the Christmas shit of like the Snickers Christmas tree, or the Reese's cup, or the Danish tin cookies that's ultimately going to become a sewing kit thing, or just thinking, even Thanksgiving, while I think me and my partner maneuvered it well, like those were the holidays that reminded me of family so much. Those are the holidays that where all the bullshit of the year, no matter who hates who, no matter who stole whose wallet because they smoked crack, or no matter who fucked whose man, or no matter what grade you got on your report card, Thanksgiving to New Year's was a time where food, family, fun, and feelings all kind of bursted out at the seams, and I really do a good job of maneuvering that lonely the rest of the year. Like, I don't need my family so much for Halloween. I don't really need them for the summer months, except 4th of July, which I talked about. 4th of July was our Christmas in July. Literally, 4th of July was that for us. But I can maneuver those spaces. I can make better decisions if I choose to, if you remove work stress and Black creative stress, and how do I pivot my career to go where I belong stress. But Christmas time, holiday time, family time stress it feels like 400 pounds. And ironically enough, the only way that I have been soothing, because I know I can do better and I will do better, and I'm already doing better because I've said it out loud. But it has been my cycle to really wrap up with those things, to wrap up with dark liquor and sad music, and to wrap up with food and cakes and pies, and not even so much food. And like, that's something I wanted to talk about, because some weird fetish shit that I have, pre weight loss surgery, in weight loss surgery, post weight loss surgeries. I love my 600-pound life, and I love to see how other people ended up the same surgery as me. And every time I'm like, but that, I didn't live my life like that. How are we the same weight? How are we the same weight? How are we the same weight? It wasn't even like I wasn't an active kid. Like, I was in marching band. I was in robotics. I was in ROTC. I played gym. I fucking loved it. I never skipped gym. I talked to some sorority sisters, like, now that they've seen me in the weight loss. I'm like, how did y'all let me get this big? And they're like, bitch, we didn't see it. Like, you were so active. Like, your weight never got in the way, except when it was time to buy line jackets and cute shirts and shit like that. But like, even that, we found a way to maneuver around it, right? And then I just look over my life, and like, I made it. If I would have never moved to New York City, I cannot confirm that I would have gotten this weight loss surgery, because something about New York City, that is one of the things that I hate / love and participate in, is the judgment. So coming from Cleveland, Ohio, where if you haven't been there, I've talked about it several times about how shitty it is, but one thing that we do great is food. Whether you're white, black, the food in Cleveland, Ohio is like top notch. I think Guy Fieri should go there way more than he does. Like, he went to dumbass the cheese melt, when that is the gentrification. That is the gentrification of Cleveland, Ohio. But the food of Cleveland, Ohio, top notch. And then I go from there, and then I go to Athens, Georgia, where everything is okay in portion and size, and no, everybody was fat, so nobody was looking at you like, damn, bitch, you fat. And then I came to New York City, a place where you have to be so much more mobile than I ever knew mobile was, because yeah, bitch, I'm mobile, but that was me walking to and from somebody's car, me walking to and from lunch. But now, when I got here, I realized that my weight was not just my problem. New York makes it very clear where you fit and don't fit, from something as simple as, oh, I spilled something on my shirt, I need to run and go get one. You can't run and go get a 4X shirt in Manhattan proper. You just can't. As someone who's now comfortably in an extra large, like, this is too big now, like, I'm someone who's in an extra large, but I got a donkey, donk, oh my fucking God, this wagon, donkey booty. I still can't get the perfect pair of jeans. I still can't shop easily. Like, I can't thrift. I can't do this. I can't do that, because I'm still not textbook New York City skinny white woman, Manhattan approved, or even Butchie Dyke white, black, brown woman size appropriate. So I learned very quickly that I would have to make a change, because New York was not going to be accommodating for this body. So while I was in the height of my depression and doing other shit, and like, I noticed it and I felt it, but I also was able to find people who would morph into being okay with a fat friend like Chloe. Like, they would come to me, or they would go where I would want to go, or they would make it so easy for me to still be fat. But while I had a great group of people who were ignoring my morbid obesity and just hanging out, the people at the table next to me, because I bumped it, or the fact that we can't sit in a standard booth, or I can't run to the train, or any of those little things. And New York is why I had weight loss surgery. New York said, if you're going to maneuver New York, you're going to have to do it at a smaller size, or be ridiculed and or hurt physically, mentally, emotionally, regularly. And while I do not regret weight loss surgery, I only regret not really being prepared to face a lot of my demons, or a lot of my food things, because while I wasn't those people in Tuscaloosa or wherever the fuck they be at, being 600 pounds, scooting around in a chair, frying chicken from their bed, while I was never her, I definitely did enough to get to be 400 pounds. And it's so funny, like, a lot of people say, Chloe, we never see you eat. You don't even eat. Like, how are you so big? That's exactly how you're big, because what you do when you don't eat is you shut down your you shut down your metabolism, and then it hoards the food. And then, like anything you eat, it holds on to it, because you're starved from the inside, and they don't know when their next meal is coming, so they hold on to it, and it becomes fat. And then you do this thing where you drink and you drink and you drink, and no one ever talks about liquid calories. Liquid calories will kill you, from coffee, from teas, from juices, from sodas, from all the things that I was ingesting. And it just, it fucking sucked. And I I wish I would have been more prepared to know just how much more I needed to know before I agreed to having the surgery. And while I think the surgery saved my life, it definitely gave me another set of things to work through that I had no idea I needed to work through and or address. And this is one of them: food during the holiday seasons and how it contributed to my 400-pound weight gain, which just it consumed me. And that on top of that, like, because like I said, I'm 260 pounds now, 260 pounds. And 60-pound weight loss is a goal. Like, it is I say it out loud, I see it, and then I eat cookies, and then I'm like, we'll get to it. And just like I talked about on episode 12, I believe, like, if you don't start saving now, you never will. And then $10,000 worth of debt will become $25,000, $100,000. 260 pounds because of the surgery that I've had could easily skyrocket back up to 400 pounds. And this is one area in my life where I cannot show you all my failures. Like, I'm a perfectionist, but I'm also really like, hey, I suck at that. Nobody knows. I can't do that. I'm not good at that. Like, I don't. Some things I'm very honest about, but I cannot fail at going back to being 400 pounds, because on the flip side of knowing that you're failing in terms of the food choices or the decisions you make, you still have people who are used to seeing you at 400 pounds who are like, damn, you look good. You look great. You're doing great. I even go to my own doctor and say, hey, I'm fucking up. Help me. And they're like, oh, well, we're not in the business of helping unless you do a massive weight gain, and then we'll go in and cut you further. Not like, let's prevent you from getting to that. Because here in this US of A and in New York City, we're all about being reactionary as opposed to being, proactive, which is fine. But I would have liked to have done way more proactive work with my surgery before committing to it, because maybe there wouldn't be so many hangups that I have to address in this platform around the food in which I eat. So thinking about 400 pounds, like, what can I say about someone who has 400 pounds on their person and has lost some, but that weight is still always there, because it's there in skin. It's there in realizing that, wow, you feel amazing because you know where you came from. Other people still see 260 as fat, and you're still in the fat family, even though you used to be the head of the household. Now you're just baby clump. Thinking about what that is like, living in a 400-pound body, I realized that I wasn't living. I was not engaging. I was not whole. I was not happy. I was not healthy. While my blood pressure and all my stats were always fine, which is another indicator as to why I ignored the scale, because I'm one of those people, reactionary based. Like, bitch, if you're telling me I'm skating by and C's get degrees, like, I'm not gonna strive for extra credit. So, like, when I would go, they would look at me like, oh, bitch, you so morbid obese. And then they would run their tests and they're like, well, bitch, you are healthy, fit, your heart rate is good, your cholesterol is great. Like, you are, so it was one of those things where I'm like, until I can feel or see, like, a tangible, and, like, even for me at 400 pounds, clothes wasn't a tangible, because a bitch was killing it on the Old Navy / I found this and I pieced this together, and I was a originator of a lot of outfit things, and I made a lot of things work in my size, which now at a size that is a little bit more textbook appropriate, I'm struggling, because now I am shopping off the rack, and so is the 18 other dykes who look just like me. So I'm losing a little bit of my originality, because now I can fit. Be careful what you ask for, right? But there was nothing that was like a strong indicator to say, hey, until I got here. And then it became my frame, my knees, my back. Like, I was getting steroid shots, and they were talking about knee replacements and all this other shit. So I just want to speak to people who are in the battle of the bulge, or in the weight loss, or in the surgery, or in all of those things. Spend time with you there. Like, once you realize that there's a massive, like, getting surgery is a massive first step. It's not easy. A lot of people say you took the easy way out, Bitch, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. I guarantee you, it is not easy. But for those of you who are in the process, or thinking about it, or concerned about your weight loss, or doing those things, please know this is not a quick fix. While you will lose the weight quickly, you will not lose the weight of what gave you the weight in the first place. And you will have to maneuver spaces so differently, right? Something that I struggle with is dating. Like, God hates me / protects me, because ever since I've had weight loss surgery, I've been in a committed relationship, so I haven't got to flex my hoism that I'm desperately seeking to flex, which I will unpack that somewhere else. But even that, like, on my dating sites, like, people are hitting me up, and I am viable now. And like, I have to look at those people like, yeah, bitch, but what you don't know is that I am living a weight loss journey. Like, and any day now, 260, knock on all the wood, could be 400. And would you love me through it? Or if I was 400 pounds, like some bitches who I used to swipe with all the time zoomed right past me, but now they're in my DMs. And it's just like, oh, wow. In real time, weight does matter. In real time, thinking about the opportunities that I have missed or missed me, or clubs that I wasn't invited into because of my size. And it just really stings. And it makes me incapable of trusting people, because I'm like, I needed you to know me then to make sure you love me now. And the whole point is like, why would you want them to love you then when you didn't love you then, right? Like, it's a mental weight loss, mental, way more mental than what you put in your mouth and what you do on the treadmill. Weight loss starts up here. Acceptance starts up here. All those things start up here. And I just want to make sure that people know that, like, it is a journey and it will never end. And it is a life. When they say, oh, fad diets versus lifestyle changes, this is a lifestyle change. Straws, don't use them. Gum, can't chew them. Eating a cookie, drinking milk at the same time, you will blow up from the inside out, like urban legend with the Pop Rocks and Pepsi. Like, there's so many things that you have to be prepared to know are just different for you. For example, you gotta wait 30 to 45 minutes between when you eat something and drink something. For me, I was the queen of spice, lord of the dance of spice, and now a bitch ketchup makes me feel like it's a 6-alarm fire in my throat. So there's so many things that kind of happens in this process. And then to know that you want to include people in your life, or try to even keep the same friends. Like, I have a plethora of weight loss buddies who have done this in secret. And I'm just like, bitch, you went from being precious to being precious overnight. And it's just like, so what pills are you taking? Because I've seen you be 300, 400 pounds your whole life. And now all of a sudden, we just see you on the treadmill skinny. And it's just like, who you lying to? Yourself. Because while you don't have to be me. Like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I tell all y'all my business, and I get that that's not everybody's forte in this, but like, it is no more obvious than when you get together with that same group of friends who you fucked with when you were fat, and you try to do some of that same fat shit now that you cannot. Dead giveaway every time. Like, you try to go to a bottomless prefix brunch after having weight loss surgery with niggas who seen you clear the bottles, clear the bar, clear the syrup container, and then you sit there and then you try to maneuver that space without letting people know your truth. Good luck, girl. Tell me how that plays out. But it's just all those things I think about all day, every day. See, I came back. All those things, everything you have to, it's a constant conversation. It's a constant struggle. It's a constant. And then you get to the fact of 'tis the season. Everybody wants to meet for drinks. Pre-COVID, it was always potluck, which gross. It was always, let's have happy hour drinks and meet at the bar, and friendsgivings and secret cookie snowflake shits, which I was never invited to, but I've seen them. And you do all of that, and then it's just like, how can you stay the course? Like, even the most disciplined person, the most, I only eat for fuel, I don't eat for flavor, I'm this, and that. Nigga, try that on Christmas. I ain't never seen a bitch say, you know what I have for Christmas? A salad. Yeah, a pork chop steak salad with gravy and mashed potatoes and corn and stuffing or dressing or whatever the fuck that brown shit usually is on somebody's plate. So it's just a time of year that makes me so angsty and nervous, because it's a both and. Like, I'm my food I can whoop food's ass all the time. Fuck you, food. I don't need that. Give me less. Leftovers. I don't want that. And then Christmas comes, and them niggas took them ass whoopings all them other days. They took them ass whoopings. They said, oh, this bitch came to play. She's sparring with Mike Tyson. 'Tis the season to get your ass beat by desserts, get your ass mollywopped by coquito, get your ass drugged by a German chocolate, get your ass stumped on by Hershey's Kisses, get your ass mollywopped by cookies and reefs and peppermint bark and all the fucking Starbucks exclusive drops. Like, that nigga is stronger than me taking L's on the sneakers app. Bitch, I be taking L's during Christmas time when it comes to desserts and cookies and shit. But There's no but. That is my truth. Like, I don't have an answer. I just want to vent about it. 400 pounds did not happen overnight, but I will say during the 12 days of Podmas, 400 pounds feels so much heavier because when I hang up from here, I got to go figure out what I'm going to eat and what I'm going to eat. And then you get into, like, for me, I work a traditional job where we get a Christmas break. So you get a good stagnant 2 weeks of not being bothered. And that's just like, nothing is in the way of you not eating. That's another thing. Like, and then that on top of COVID, where there's literally nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. You can't go. Well, you can go, but I'm not going running. I'm not going to here. I'm not doing that. I'm snuggling up watching a Divas Christmas Carol on loop, and I want to eat something the whole way through it. And I bring that up to say, even the most disciplined person who can say, yes, I actually am having a watercress sandwich for Christmas dinner. You factor in COVID and just seasonal depression and the stagnance of your city or your town or your life, coupled with like the cold weather, all the things that kind of make you cocoon inside. Usually food is there, like, yeah, baby, I've been waiting. You ready? So pray for me, because while this episode, I could pick any of those. We could spend 3 episodes on Chloe's snack cake choices, and I could entertain you and win an award doing so, because I have feelings about every single one of them, from the fact they used to be 25 cents to the fact that a fucking Nutty Buddy is 75 cents. Fuck you. Give me 2. So this is a mumbo jumbo of all the things I wanted to get out about a fat bitch who was 400 pounds but still lives in a 400 pound life. Crazy thing about being larger than life, when you actually are larger than life, is another piece of that is like a part of being that way, or breaking up with being 400 pounds, is that you have to break up with being 400 pounds. Like 400 pound Chloe could do things that 260 pound Chloe is just scared to do, like walk down a dark alley. I don't know. I can't say it to be true. All I can do is speak for me. But when this bitch was 400 pounds, I was not concerned about sexual assault, catcalling, rape, mugging, any of those things. I was not concerned. My femininity did not exist. I was just a big blob of nothing that people, even the nigga who was out there trying to rape, murder, assault, and kill was like, you fat, you got enough. We gonna pass you by. And now I am a damsel in distress. Oh my God, I am shook regularly. Like, oh bitch, we got to go get all the groceries before the sun go down, because also at 400 pounds, I thought that I was so much more agile and could beat your ass or just sumo wrestle your ass and like put up a good fight. 260 Chloe is like, bitch, run, get out, save yourself, because I'm saving me. But even that, like the comforts, I always used to say, God made me fat to protect me, because if this person, this energy, this swag, when I was sucking dick, when I was doing all those things at 400 pounds, pregnancy never came, because my period never came, because I had PCOS, because I was too fat. My ovaries was like, bitch, we on strike until you make some room in here for us. I didn't get caught up in all the ways in which I could have got caught up. No babies, no drama, no abuse. None of the shit. And like, my weight protected me. My weight saved my life in a lot of instances where it wouldn't have been safe. When I used to be 13 and 14, staying out so late that the bus that would get me from one part of town to my home stopped running. Cleveland, Ohio buses just stopped running at a certain time. It's a novelty. And then I would have to walk. At 13, I had to be maxing 250. So at 13, I looked 30, and like, police didn't stop me. Like, I didn't look like the kid that I was, because my body matured me in a way that just saved me. I've made it through a lot of shit that I probably shouldn't have made it through, and I have to attribute it to my weight. So now realizing that I don't have the armor of that weight makes me maneuver spaces a lot differently. So much so that 'tis the season to stay home, but I got to figure out how to make it the season to do some crunches, or I could just eat some cinnamon toast crunch. See, it's a slippery slope, bitch. I don't know. I'm just talking to y'all at this point. This is one, I'm bringing it back. This is a conversation that has to come back. This is something that I am nowhere near unpacking. Like, look at all the things that I just took you all through, and you just got a sample. Like, if this episode confused you, bitch, imagine living in it. Imagine being it. But I will wrap this up and say, love yourself at any size, because someone who I am admiring from a distance and even up close, who just started an Instagram page, Fat Kid Chronicles, something that she said, shout out to Kwana, she said it, Love you at size, I'm gonna use my sizes. Love you at size 30, because when you get to size 3, if you didn't love you at 30, the chances are getting to size 3, there won't be a lot of love there either. So love yourself, honor your truth. If you're going to have a cheat day, a cheat month, a depressed dieting situation, own it. But know that just because you have fallen in it doesn't mean you have to stay. Like, use your own life alert. Get up, get out of it. Weight, and in the black and brown community, like, we died, police, all the shit about weight, diabetes, blood pressure, stroke, lose an arm, big mama's house. A lot of things, while they taste great, all the things that I love, all the things that make me just, I can hear my grandmother's voice, all those things, every single one of them. As much as she meant to me, and as much as I can tear up about what those emotions bring to me, I don't ever want to be 400 pounds to remember her. I don't ever want my grandmother's legacy to be the reason why I joined her prematurely. So love yourself, love your food, love your choices, and love your mistakes. But you got to choose you the same way you go to Subway and don't nobody go to Subway. The same way you pick your favorite meal, or your depressed meal, or the only thing that will soothe this is that. Remember that once you put that in, once that euphoric feeling, the drug of food should be a Schedule 1 drug over marijuana. I say it every day. The way that food makes you feel in that moment, the minute it's in your body and it is gone, and you then see the wrappers, all that hurt, anger, disappointment, and now self-judgment is right there on the other side of it. So when you pick your food and you pick your poison, remember that you're picking all the trauma on the other side of it, because food is so temporary. It goes in and comes out if you're lucky, quickly if you're very lucky. But the weight that accumulates because of those small moments of satisfaction, those small moments of love, those small moments of, I don't have to think about nothing but me and this Whopper. Those small moments, once it's done, those small moments are gone, but your big body bends, you remind me of your Jeep ass body, will be there. And then you won't love you. It's not worth it. And I'm going to end it with this. I'm not coming for you body positive people. I'm not coming for you people who are so proud of your fatness and have used it to do whatever the fuck it is doing for you. Or, hey, my nigga like it and his nigga like, whatever that is. I'm not here to dispel that. But as somebody who did not love myself in my fatness, did not feel the love in my fatness, did not enjoy being what the chasers chased as a chubby girl, did not appreciate the angst and anxiety of not being able to pick up a shirt in a situation where something happened because my size was so big, and I always had to pack my own towels and sheets and all this shit when I go to a hotel, because the towels, when you're 400 pounds, them shits look like face cloths. Now a bitch can almost wrap it around. I enjoy those small wins way more than any male food body positivity thing. So, but that is Chloe Beck's narrative. That is my truth. So I have seen some big ladies recently, and I'm like, wow, I could see how it is lucrative, and it has maneuvered a space for you to stay at your size. But as long as you're healthy, happy, and whole, pick a weight. Just know that you are worth whatever weight you pick. All right? 'Tis the season, 400 pounds. That was me. It'll never be me again, and if it is, it won't be for long. Like I said, this is one where I'm going to sit down and outline and really sit down and talk about, I could talk about the weight loss part. I could talk about post-weight loss. I could talk about shopping. I could even take you guys with me on a vlogging day of Chloe trying to go shop in this city, so you can see how hard it is to be this dapper daddy dyke that I am when the clothes don't want me to be. All right? 'Tis the season. Love yourself. Love each other. Love your weight. Bye.